Light is from my phone. Light ring. Okay. Not going to be looking at the camera. That camera. And this is just a test here. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Just got one bar. Microphone check. Okay, that's for sharing. Yo, live chat is working. Not too much of a delay. Not very clear. That may not be the best camera. Am I going to have to attach the camera to right here? I suppose I could do that. But as I move the microphone as needed for plosions. Plosion. Do we have any plosions? I don't know if we have any plosions. I'm going to have to listen to it later. No blowsions or plosions. Do you even know what a plosion is? Do you even plosion? So this is basically a sound quality check, as this is a new microphone right here. Made some changes on it yesterday as far as the settings go. Can't seem to make any changes through YouTube, so it may be in 44. Speaking into it for plosions to take place. Plosion. Plosion. Feels right in front of my face. That looks a little better. The thumb looks good. Yes, it looks good. To keep the exposure. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. Oh, joy, my fiber optic internet connection is unstable. Okay. So this is just a test. I'm not sure how easily my mind is going to flow with its inner monologue, especially when I can't say monologue, and I'm going to be twirling my tongue around words because I'm nervous. But what would we be talking about? This one. Oh, I don't know. Maybe this one right here that I'm looking for that I can't seem to find yet. Oh. And that would be the uncertainty principle revised. Click. Okay, and this was my interpretation, and I'm just going to read it here. The brighter a light, the more determined particles' paths can be measured. Dim the light more, and some particles will not be exposed to light and therefore allowed to travel in many, many different directions and be in more than one place at a time. The rest so far is completely undetermined, and until a particle's path is determined, the entire distance across the universe, however distant the span, and collapses at its destination faster than the speed of light. Okay, and then it kind of goes on. I had some other stuff that I had copied here, blah, 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 blah. Another little bit about myself when I talk about that right here. It's kind of interjected in between two segments. This is going to throw in a little science here tonight, is the way I had titled it. Since the 8th grade, I have been extremely involved in understanding the universe, starting with the atom, but quickly became a strong need to understand the large-scale structure of the universe. Then went back to the small scale of the universe. Books, papers, lectures, and videos, all the top scientists throughout history. I am a geek, a nerd, and even consider myself a philosopher. Philosophy. A theory that has no air behind it. You can't create an experiment to observe and confirm. It's not science. It's philosophy. But I also feel that I get into deep thought experiments. I do often do that. I can see a picture and a living video of very mind's eye kind of stuff. Right now, my focus is on parallel universes created from each and every black hole that exists not only in our galaxy, but in every galaxy across the entire universe. Even with just inside of our observational horizon, the singularity of a black hole is, and the warping of space-time in the universe makes the black hole a three-dimensional object. General theory of relativity that no energy being slowed down to create matter, and you have no matter, and that means it's pure energy moving at the speed of light. Therefore, there is no time dilation in between point A and point B. Okay. So, blah, 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 blah. And at the moment you can have zeroed amount of balance between positive and negative gravity, and it is highly believed currently that just a few grams of matter, a black hole can create a Big Bang. With positive energy exponentially expanding due to a negative gravity propulsion bounce back, a singularity is a million trillion times smaller than every electron volume. Yet from that single area or length called a Planck length, the volume of matter created expands and self-generates additional matter, and even has a decay period, which is called a half-life, but in a very small period of time. Our universe will exist and is currently supposed to have expanded from a Planck length to beyond the cosmic horizon within 10 to the minus 35th power of a second, and doubled in size every half-life. Now, if you can imagine a Planck length expanding to such a size in such a small period of time, imagine how little matter that was for it to generate so much matter. from so little, and now imagine how many Planck lengths there could be in just a few grams of matter. The universe we love in, the universe we love in is so fantastically large, it may feel unable to be conceived. I may have been dictating this because that don't make a fucking bit of sense. Okay, now imagine the amount of material it takes a star of considerable size to collapse into a black hole. Okay, before we just talked about just a few grams. Now fathom a star of at least 3 to 4 times the mass of our sun, collapsing into a black hole and providing the amount of energy that mass would convert in to create an entirely separate universe that the catalyst for a parallel universe that's going to have its own set of laws of physics, okay, based on the amount of vacuum state or whatever. That little bit of matter is all you need to do it. The rest is warped space-time, how much energy you're putting into it. How much energy does it have available? Now, they say the balance is out to zero, okay? But depending on how much energy was put into the creation of the singularity in which the black hole creates a white hole to create a universe, okay? It may always be the same amount of matter that is used to generate the fluctuations needed to create the laws of physics and how they will work in the other universe, but how much it expands is all dependent on how much energy was available. Okay, so a star that was, say, 20 times the mass of the sun finally collapsed into a black hole. It warps space more because we know that it does because the black hole that we observe on this side is larger in surface area with a greater diameter due to the warping of space and time. I'll just okay, and the fluctuations inside the Higgs field of whatever density, I guess you would say, the density of the field, the Higgs field in this universe or the other universe or that universe over there or that one over there or this. I mean, I guess they're all there, okay, but where they exist inside some sort of bulk universe where the energy into certain states that only allows matter vibrations to work or a proton of this charge or higher or lower density, which may allow for, if it's I guess if it would be a lower density, it would allow the fluctuations to be greater. And so based on the amount of energy available in it, the Higgs field is going to make much larger, heavier particles. Those heavier particles aren't ever really going to be able to combine with each other much, I would think, to create other particles. You know, it's got to start with a whole bunch of small ones, and they grow in size, entropy. So in some parallel universes, I guess you would have some things where you're not going to get electrons to form or whatever. You know, the heavier elements are not going to form. You're always going to end up with hydrogen and stuff like that. So you're not going to have a cascading effect of entropy that's going to grow in a method that we are used to understanding with our standard model. Okay, it'd be a different standard model. Whether there would be ever any kind of life that would exist in the future of that parallel universe that would ever create life that would able to then come around and say, do we have a standard model? Where others are going to be able to say, yep, we got a standard model and we got a few extra parts and stuff like that. But you got the balance between gravity, energy, all this shit that I don't know a lot about, okay, because I'm not a theoretical physicist, okay, just a philosopher. But I feel like I kind of have a mind's eye, layman's understanding of how the universe works based on off all these other scientists that are putting everything together, and they're all kind of coming together, and they got this and that, and they come up and they got it figured out way better than I do. Okay, I'm just a guy out there who loves that sort of shit. That some placement, because that ain't gonna work for me. Get a little calm, not so anxious. Get my third, fourth little podcast in privately, not going to be viewed by others, okay, unless someone has access to my account. If I was to croak, I do have capability for someone to access my accounts, and then they're going to find all this and they're going to be like, what in the fuck was he smoking? Okay, not smoking anything. I quit smoking. Shit. But I don't smoke anymore. I don't have anything that puts me in that that mode. Oh yeah, let's think deep about the universe. I don't need to anymore. It's all up here. I can do it. But I got to be in the mode, and right now I don't necessarily feel in the mode because I'm in a fucking test. Okay, is there a name of this thing right here? I don't have the name. I like that, by the way. Thundercast. Messy. 360tour.studio. Hoping that takes off because I'm tired of being a fucking electrician. Tired of living in anxiety. And this may be my vent. If it gets worse out there, we're spending more time at home, and you got to get by somehow. Will there be more people watching their phones, stuff like that? Maybe expanding their search queries out there. Space, science, universe, parallel universes. Thundercast. I heard about that guy. I wonder what's out there. Can you hear that? How clear? Is there a bunch of sound in the background? Does it sound like I'm talking from about 5 feet away? Or does it sound like I'm talking about 4 fingers away? Up there. Talking into the mic, 1, 2, 3, 4. Talking to the side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's go back to reading my little shit here. Elon Musk, just like they tweet, I would like to apologize to my wife Kim for going public with something that was a private matter. Who is Kim? Is that his wife or something? Or he liked a tweet. So apologize to his wife Kim. Surely he ain't talking about fucking Kanye, gosh dang West. I ain't even going to read that one, because if it is, that's just going to be stupid as fuck that Elon Musk would even have anything to do with Kanye West. He can't. It can't be. Okay. Let's see. Oh, now imagine how many black holes there are in our galaxy alone. Our galaxy. And how many black holes are in our galaxy? Each one of them creating a parallel universe. Okay? My connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. What the fuck? I'm on a fiber that can download fucking Minecraft dungeons at 3 camera to my laptop and stream, should the universe generating laws allow, each with numerous black holes with hundreds of millions and maybe even trillions of galaxies in each parallel universe. And we're not even talking about our own universe and inside our cosmic horizon, our observable universe. How many fucking galaxies are we at now? 400 billion galaxies inside the observable universe, each with galaxy with, 400 billion stars, 100% or 1%, 4 million black holes. You guess that would be? I'm terrible. Just say. When you think of parallel universe, is it still expanding because the black hole that our universe was created from has not evaporated yet in the parallel universe that it exists in, and is still feeding a little bit of matter into it? Is it a feedback loop? Does linear, exponential actually, but I mean, one creates another, creates another, creates another. One creating another doesn't create the one that feeds ours that would somehow link through causality provide the energy source for another one that is creating another one. Okay, it's branching out, okay, but it's not branching out and one coming back being inserted into one that creates another. It branched out from somewhere, okay, and that's the answer I don't think that we'll ever know. I don't think we can know that answer, because there's a laws of physics, our standard model and stuff like that, that they say, you take away all the books, in a million years from now, experiments provide observation which confirm the theory. The motor gets running. They start writing their observations down. What do they end up with? A standard model, the exact same standard model that we have now. Science, okay? What would the books look like 3 billion years ago? Okay, the expansion of the universe would be a little bit different, but you still have your hydrogen creating helium, stars, all that kind of stuff from that period where I mean, the laws of physics are the laws of physics are the laws of physics in our universe, and they are persistent so far. Okay, but what's to say that just like that first moment of creation where the laws of physics may have been combined into something of a different set of laws of physics, where the ones that we observe are emergent from it, but still confined inside what we would consider to be our universe. We just don't know what those laws of physics are yet. Okay? And then you still got, once you figure that out, and let's say, okay, we're down to it. You can't go in a smaller time frame to say this is it. This is the laws of physics we were looking for. Here's every freaking particle that can be created based on our vacuum state and our energy level. And if it was, and then I guess we would then be able to say, hey, black holes do this or they don't or whatever. And I think they will, because they've been leading towards what I just described. Black holes are the parallel universe generating mechanisms. Black holes, a beginning. Seems like there should have been a beginning. But think of this. If there originally was nothing, you could not end up with something. Even if you have the quantum fluctuations inside nothing. Quantum fluctuations exist inside something. Okay? And this is what's so fucking crazy about this. Whether you believe science or you have faith. Okay? It's got to go back somewhere, you would think. We're never going to know. Or am I existing in a place that's not allowed to know, first of all, and that an answer does exist, and somehow when I die, if I've been a good enough person, I'll be allowed to know. I don't think so. And I have often said, I believe there could have never not been, or there could have not been a beginning, because for there have been a beginning, there was a period of nothing, not even quantum fluctuations. Nothing could have spontaneously been created. There is no finite size of the multiverse. It is infinite in time, and there's no bound to its capacity. I may sound like a complete dork, but believe me, I believe in science. Those big brains that work on this stuff are all very, very strict on the scientific method. Our thought experiment relates, a thought experiment relates a hypothesis. A hypothesis creates a theory. A theory creates an experiment, and an experiment creates an observation. And if it verifies within an approximation of at least a magnitude of order of 43 decimals, it is damn near considered to be a fact. Then the test is ran again and again and again to verify. And this is where science is currently, at the cusp of understanding it all, or learning it is nothing but a brute fact of a never-ending, a small Russian nesting. I just had to spill it all out. Is there anyone that relates? Okay, let's go back here a little bit because I'm missing something. I am missing something. Because I had a whole bunch of shit inside there. Damn it. I may have. Did I read it all? I lost all that. I can't believe it. A terrible truth. That's a bummer. You'll never know now either. Okay. So I'm going to see how all this works out in sound. If I've been too far away or anything like that, how well it sounds. I can obviously see some auto focusing going on. We're going to have to work on that. Significant. Just an universe alone, just the observable universe alone. We're so small. And when you think about the microwave background, how its divergence in temperature fluctuations are 1 in 10,000, 1 in 10,000, 1 in 100,000, 1 in 10,000. Let's say it was just 1 in 10,000. Okay? We're talking about the cosmic horizon, the span from one side to the other. That great distance that now has expanded to, what, 96 billion years or something like that over our time period. Okay, that's just to our cosmic horizon. Okay, now travel much, much faster than the speed of light, basically bouncing from one side of the universe to the other. And let's just say I was going to put myself where we perceive the, and I then observe from that location the cosmic horizon. We know this direction is 1 in 10,000, and we would expect then that to be 1 in 10,000. But it might be 1 in 9,999, or it might be 1 in 10,001. Okay? So how many horizons do you have to go for it to be different in the laws of physics that we can observe from our center of the universe, where I sit right now. Where I sit right now, my own fucking center of the universe has a standard model that can be determined. What's it like at the edge of my cosmic horizon, and then 10,000 cosmic horizons? Do you have to get that far away before the microwave background changes to changing our space? Okay? Not a parallel universe all wrapped up into a space-time manifold, 11-dimensional kalabiyao. But physically in our space, the laws of physics change over distance. Your parallel lines never cross because it's so flat over distance that we don't see the convergence or divergence. We perceive it as flat. And for us to be able to, let's say we could observe parallel lines from where we're at and go 10,000 orders of magnitude in distance away in space to then make a measurement to see if the parallel lines have stayed the same distance, diverged or converged that far away, to be able to say that space is that flat. And where does it end? Because I can tell you right now, I have a hard time subscribing to the fact that somewhere in this physical universe, there is another David Ballou right now looking at the camera, exactly pointing my finger exactly this distance away from the microphone, and everything be exactly the same. Okay? And where is it exactly the same? Is it just right here in this little spot area, or is the fucking chair still sitting there with a 360-degree camera that has the same amount of fucking recorded video from 2 weeks ago? And then what if it was all the same, but the only difference is what's recorded on the fucking video from 2 weeks ago is where the divergence was. And the divergence came down to the simple fact that there was one less fucking proton inside an atom of carbon in the fucking dirt in my shoe. That's the only difference. Or there were two carbon atoms. That's a separate parallel mini worlds interpretation, fucking parallel universe. Okay? One where I'm wearing glasses. Everything is the fucking same. But how far out? How far out where my parallel me is sitting here, that everything is still the same going out, that you could consider it a parallel universe, not a parallel David, not a parallel fucking 14851 South 271st East Avenue in Coweta. Where is the differentiation take place, where it is not part of a parallel universe, but it is its own? Okay? If the standard model exists infinitely, that direction, in every direction, actually has a on it. This fucking thing that I transferred to, okay, it didn't go on this thing originally. It went on another flash drive, okay, and it had to go through that progression of time to get here, and has actually been on 3 different computers on many separate drives, whether it be cloud and generated from all different sources. And you're telling me it's exactly the fucking same. Sean Carroll, you cannot be correct. I believe that's what you that you subscribe to. Lawrence Krauss, I believe he's the same way. These all exist. It's exactly the same. I'm saying the same fucking thing. Everything's lasted so far 46 minutes and 26 seconds. And in one, it diverges. I'm still holding the flash drive. One, I just put it down. Another, it's nighttime. Another is morning. It's 1 second ago. It's still not even 1 second. I still have a second to go to get to that point. Time is different. My mom's still alive, or my dad's still alive, or my brother's still alive. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one left. Everybody else is still alive. And because of that, for whatever reason, I'm not making this video. I could be dead somewhere else. Okay? In one of the parallel universes, I never got to this point. I died at birth. But yet everything was the same. But you see, it can't be the same because my interactions with people that I would have grown up with or interacted with are all different. All those all of that diversification, all those branches. "21 knobs, each with 1 trillion channels. Configurations. 21 ones out of 21 channels. They all happen to be ones. You have that many different options, and they all happen to be on one. What kind of universe is that? Or it's 0 trillion. I mean, you got all these different combinations. How many different combinations can you have? Are we ever going to know what channels it's set at for us? Right there. And if God exists, then there's a universe where everything's a 0. Is there? Is there a place where nothing exists? You can't have a 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Can you? Is there always at least a 1 value? You have to have a 1. Or can you have a half of 1? Okay, you take 1, 0 to 1 with 1 trillion spaces in between 0 and 1. Okay, but there's no There's no zero there. Jesus supposedly said, I go to build a better place for you. What setting is that? What setting is the better place? Configurations have been what happens between all those different times? A seemingly infinite amount of time exists in duration. Well, this better not go public because you all are going to think I'm fucking crazy. Now I'm in my mode. Okay, I'm in my mode right now. I'm not talking about the mathematics. I'm talking about the deep philosophical aspects to diving deep down in that fucking rabbit hole. Understand something that just is not going to be able to be understood. And we have to live our life going on knowing that we can't do it. We have to accept it. And to somehow think that if I was to die now and if I was good enough person, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get to know. Okay? I'd have to have the mind of God. That's not going to be given to me. If I had the mind of God, would I be choosing to allow any of this fucking shit to happen? If I was God, do I have a choice in whether it happens or not? I don't think so. I've always said nothing happens except through chance, choice, or actions of others. By chance, the universe was created. By choice, somehow I may end up with the technology that allows me to warp space-time enough that exists physically or through the actions of others, they could facilitate me or keep me from doing it. So by chance, the universe is created. Let's not go in that deep. Let's talk about right now. Let's assume there's an asteroid on the way. No human on Earth has ever what am I trying to say? No human has ever provided any experience to keep that from happening. And they haven't observed anything about it. They haven't interacted with it. They haven't changed the course of the chance of that asteroid coming and colliding with the Earth. Now, that's not to say that we don't know that it's coming. Okay, so right now it's all chance that it's going to hit the Earth. But by let's say my personal capabilities, even if I had the resources to, as a single individual, go and change the course of that asteroid coming to collide with the Earth, or to do something that made it collide with the moon, let's say, or not collide with either, but eventually either go on for trillions of years and never collide with anything, or get ejected out of the solar system, finally make its way into another solar system one day, and finally go and collide with another heavenly body out there that has some people on it, or some dinosaurs, change the course of history on its planet that one day may or may not facilitate whatever, or by actions of others keep me from keeping it from colliding with the Earth. Okay, so it's by chance it's going to collide, or by chance it's not. If it is, maybe my personal choice can do something to keep it from hitting the Earth or hitting somewhere else on the Earth. Maybe it's just small enough that, hey, it was going to hit and destroy, a small city in the United States. But if I had the capability, maybe I wanted to hit someplace like, I don't know, or the actions of others could keep that so that it hit, I don't know, some other place. I'm not going to go there. Okay, chance, choice, actions of others. Or can we pray that it doesn't happen and that be enough? Okay, all right. What if the only way for something to happen is to pray that others die? Okay, is God going to make that happen? Is he going to give it a choice? Maybe I just want my team to win the fucking football game. Okay, we got an hour in. That was going to be my test limit. I'm going to stop here. Peace.